Starting over in life and enjoying the journey at the same time, that can be hard to do, especially if it's a bad breakup or the loss of a job. New York Times best-selling author Carole Radziwill is showing us how to get over it and how to get that do-over again. Her new book is called The Widow's Guide to Sex and Dating. Carole is borrowing from her own life as a young widow with a smart and funny look at getting through hard times. She joins me to talk about it all. Welcome, Carole.
Thank you.
We spoke about your book, and I was telling you I was reading a little bit of it, and I couldn't put it down.
Oh, I like to hear that.
So talk about how you drew the inspiration from your own life. Was it hard?
Well, coming out of nonfiction and my background as a journalist, I always thought writing fiction would be easier than writing memoir and nonfiction because you could just make it up. But it turns out it's much harder to make up. So I did draw my own experiences, but also observations and experiences of my friends. But I am a young widow, and Claire is a young widow, so I'm sure people will identify with, I identify with her, but I also identify with the other characters in the book.
So the book, what exactly is it that you want folks to know, that there is life after experiencing something?
I wrote this novel 10 years after my husband passed away, so I was already in a different frame of mind. I was in a much more whimsical state of mind. I had kind of found my sense of humor about the absurdity that we all know life can be, and so I give that sense of humor to my heroine Claire right away. So from the first chapter, we don't dwell on the 5 stages of grief. We skip right to acceptance and like, oh no, now what? And I think the takeaway, if there is one, is every ending, every beginning is disguised as an ending. And I found that true in my situation, as traumatic and tragic as it was after my husband died. But if you can keep that in mind and really find your sense of humor about life, I know for me, it saved me.
And the sense of humor in this book is Claire, the main character.
Yes.
She actually goes on multiple dates.
Well, yes. She just, it's really a journey, and it's not just for widows. I mean, I think if you're going through a divorce or a breakup, or anyone kind of, in their 30s and having to start again and kind of reinventing their life. It's in a very American tradition anyway, the idea of reinvention. So she understands that she gets a do-over. And it's really, her journey is more a journey of meaning and to kind of discover who she is after this long marriage. And let me just say, it's a comedy, even though the title sounds very sad. Although it doesn't, Sex and Dating is, but it's a comedy, the sort of comedic sequel to the tragedy that was my first book.
And because it is fiction, did you draw from your own personal experience of, putting yourself out there dating after? I
mean, there are a few of my dating stories in that book. I cannot lie. There are a few characters that are taken directly from my life. There's a character called Derek, and he's an actual tour guide in New York City, and he's a sort of autistic, brilliant guy, and all of the dialogue in the book that he talks about is pretty much word for word what he says on his tour, and he's a really fun character.
Really? And then you also have a character that Claire dates in Hollywood, and you're saying it loosely based?
No, I didn't say loosely. Oh. Jack Huxley is one of the main love interests, and Claire does date him, and I think I was trying to create a character that all women fantasize about, and anytime you create that kind of character, there's always going to be a little George Clooney in it.
Oh, thank you so much, Carole. We just have to read the book. For more on her book, again, it's called The Widow's Guide to Sex and Dating, the novel. Just head to our website, kcal9.com, and click Seen on TV.